Broadcasting from the Ante Up studio, it's the longest running poker podcast for the everyday poker player with your host, Joe Scales.
Hello, A-Team, and welcome back to another episode of the Ante Up Poker Podcast, where every hand is an opportunity, every player is a friend, and every episode is a winning experience. I'm your host, Joe Scales, and we've got another great show lined up for you this week. Before we get into everything, just a couple of quick updates. First, the next Patreon game is coming up on the 20th, so mark your calendars. I've already scheduled it, so you should be able to go in there and register for it. We always have a great time in these games, so if you haven't jumped in one yet, this is the perfect chance. Just swing by our link tree, click on the Patreon page to get signed up. We're also coming to you this week from this beautiful Venetian poker room here in Las Vegas. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that right now because I'm sure Elle and I will be diving into some of that on Table Talk, but I will say it's been a great week here. I also want to give a shout out to all of you because last week's episode on YouTube was our biggest one ever, close to 25,000 views, which is incredible. Thank you to everyone who watched and shared it. If you haven't checked it out, just type in Ante Up Poker on YouTube, hit subscribe, then jump into the comments. Let me know if you're a brand new listener who found us on YouTube or if you're a long-time listener who made the switch over to the video side. Some of the long-time listeners have been with the show longer than I've been hosting. Some of you have been here writing it out with Elle and I for years now. Regardless, I love hearing those stories, so drop a comment and tell me how long you've been part of this journey. And if you're finding us for the first time, welcome. Be sure to check out the link tree in our channel description. That'll take you to the magazine, tour updates, the Patreon page, and everything going on in the Ante Up world. We've got a packed show ahead, and that's all I have for now, so let's get on with the show.
Find out what conversations are happening around the poker table with Table Talk.
Elle and I are back around the poker table
in this beautiful live stream studio here at the Venetian Poker Live with Tommy Larosa. Welcome.
It's great to be here, guys. Thanks for joining us this weekend for our Ante Up Championship event. And it's very humbled to be here sitting with you on your podcast.
Well, thank you.
Well,
Thanks
thank you
for sharing your
having us.
room.
Yeah.
This is absolutely stunning. I feel very special. Last time I was here, there was a Heads Up Lips tournament happening. It was nice to peek in, but I never got to step in here. So it's stunning. It's beautiful. So is the entire poker room. Your staff has been absolutely lovely to work with. Very professional. Players are always very well taken care of here. And it's been fun to watch.
Well, thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
you for the kind words. And, this event we're still in the middle of it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this one ends, but it's been a great start so far and can't wait to see how it shapes up.
Today is day 1B. Tomorrow will be 1C, but there's still some satellites. What do we got? We got another satellite tonight and then another one tomorrow, right?
4:10 p.m. today, a $200 milestone satellite awards direct entry to day 1C tomorrow. And then we have one last turbo satellite tomorrow morning at 10:10. Once again, direct entry. And so you can still win your way in, $400,000 minimum guarantee. We should be over that prize pool amount. So if you're in Vegas or nearby, you still got time to come down.
Stop by and see us. We've got some good swag and the competition is great. So it's been really fun watching.
Then we've got the live stream on Monday right here from this table where we are broadcasting right now. So
tell us a little bit about this room.
Yeah, this room is, when I had a vision of building a poker studio, I couldn't imagine it would have come out like this, right? It wasn't opened when we opened the brand new room back in August 2nd of, last year.
Right.
We still were trying to design and come up with, what this room would look like, right? And it opened up in February of 2025. And I couldn't be more proud and more humbled of the way it's come out. I think it's it's such an elevated experience being in here in the poker studio, and all the players who have been in here have kind of, provided that feedback to me. So just very humbled the way it's come out, and awesome that we have this room and the ability to stream final tables here. Just pretty cool.
It is very cool. And I think I mentioned last week that I wondered how much they could hear from in here. You can't hear barely anything happening. And so it's the opposite of like the white noise feel. It's calming. It is. I would imagine as a player in a high stress situation that coming in here, the lights are not too overbearing. The temperature's great. The chairs are amazing.
Yeah. If you're in this room, you're either playing a high stakes cash game or you're playing a final table, which you're playing for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
You need your focus.
So, to be in this kind of environment where, the noise and the distraction is
minimal.
Yeah, exactly. And you're in such an elevated, environment.
Yes.
Allows you to just focus on what you're doing, playing either a tournament or high stakes cash game. And it's just a great environment for those players,
Yeah. Well, so what do you have coming up?
Yeah. So listen, we're in the middle of our Deep Stack series right now, right? Deep Stack Showdown, sorry. That'll run through November 23rd. But then Deep Stack Extravaganza 4 starts November 24th and runs through December 23rd. We're partnering with the Poker Atlas for their championship title event, December 10th through the 13th. That'll be a $1 million guarantee, $2,200 buy-in, no limit hold'em event. That final table will also be live streamed right here from the Poker Studio, December 13th. So super excited for Deep Stack Extravaganza 4. But the tournament series don't stop there. December 24th to January 19th, we're going to be hosting another Deep Stack Extravaganza. It's called our New Year's Extravaganza. We'll be partnering with the MSPT for a $1,600 buy-in. I think it's a $500,000 guarantee, January 1st through the 4th. So once again, we got some exciting tournament series coming up. It never stops here in the Venetian Poker Room. And we just keep it going.
Lots of stuff happening. Make sure Jeremy knows how to get to the pickleball courts.
Right.
That's one of his favorite things to do. We'll have to tell him. My cousin's been playing there this week and said it's pretty stiff competition over there as well.
Yeah, I don't think he misses a pickleball game when he's in Vegas.
It does not. Sure. I believe it. Well, exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah. And also, I know our tournament will be live streaming here on the 17th, but then on the 18th, you've got
special guest,
the grinder. I mentioned this, I think last week on the podcast. I think this is just the coolest thing. The grinder's coming in. It's like a $200 bounty, I believe.
So I first want to say, we've been so fortunate to be able to partner with Michael Mizrachi. He is such a humble guy, very cool guy, willing to talk to anybody, take a picture with anybody. He's just such a great ambassador, not only for the industry as a whole, but, for our room, right? So we're partnering with him on some monthly events. You mentioned Tuesday, we're hosting the Grinders Bounty Tournament. It's at 6:10 p.m. It's a $200 bounty tournament where if you knock anybody out, you get a $50 bounty. But if you knock the grinder out, you get a $250 bounty.
Which also feels great.
Right? Yeah. So you get to knock out, World Series of Poker main event champion, right? So a pretty cool experience for players to be able to play with him. But it doesn't stop there. He hosts a monthly cash game stream right here from the studio. His next one's going to be November 23rd. It's a Sunday, right after F1 race. So the F1 race is Saturday. He's hosting his game Sunday. Okay. So he does that once a month here from the Poker Studio. They play $5,100, $5,000 minimum buy-in.
Wow.
So pretty cool. We're doing something I think very unique and very cool. If you join us in December in our promotional cash games, we're doing a 24-hour day mystery high hand giveaway.
Oh.
Right. So if you have the high hand in the room, any 30 minutes, you get to go to our drawing drum, grab a mystery prize envelope where we're going to give away prizes anywhere from $100 to $20,000.
Wow.
The kicker is there's two $20,000 grand prizes, and those prizes are $10,000 as cash and $10,000 to play here in the studio with Michael Mizrachi in his Grinders cash game stream.
Oh my gosh. So like a regular run-of-the-mill 1-3 player, 2-5 player could just end up playing against the grinder.
Yeah. So our promotional cash games are 1-3 no limit or 2-3 no limit or 4-8 limit and 8-16 limit. Okay. So those players typically, for the most part, we would say would never have the opportunity to play in a cash game stream like, at the stakes and the high stakes, but we're going to give them that opportunity because we're going to give them the $10,000 buy-in, right? So you're going to want to join us in December for that promotion. We're doing it all month long. And we're also going to run it back in February. We're going to run the same promotion in February. So 4 people are possibly going to have the chance to play in this room on a cash game stream with the World Series of Poker main event champion, right here playing 5,100, and we're going to give him the buy-in to do so. So I think that's pretty cool.
It's very cool. I know what I want in my stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
An opportunity to play more cash here and get a high hand.
I think we mentioned the staff, the wait staff too. Like the food in the room is phenomenal.
Oh, it's been delicious.
Yeah, so we have the Poker Room signature menu, right? So you can have food delivered tableside while you play. In addition to that, we have a QR code ordering system where if you want to go pick up the food, you can order it through the QR code. And then during a break or, you can run down there, pick up the food. But we also have 2 delivery options, right? So if you don't feel like going to pick up your food, you can order through the QR code to the Poker Room signature menu. So you don't even have to wait for a server to come to your table.
You can just do it yourself.
You can just do it yourself, place the order, the food will come. Or Nomakai will actually deliver to the Poker Room as well. So you can go on the QR code, order Nomakai, right? And Nomakai will deliver the food to the Poker Room. So plenty of options here while you play. We want to make it as comfortable as we can for you and just allow you to do your thing while you're grinding at the table. And we'll take care of the food and keep you nourished as best we can.
And caffeinated, not to mention the Larosa coffee machine has been my best friend the last couple of days.
Yeah, very unique, right? The self-service beverage station. So players who, once again, maybe are in a hurry, a little rush. They want to get their own soda. They want to get their own coffee. They want to make sure they're prepared.
Yeah.
We can provide that. And that's also another just cool perk about being here in our room.
Yeah. And one of the things that I want to talk about too, because I know when you went through this remodel here, you moved up here in the shopping area kind of, but it's so nice to not hear all of the slot machines clinging and clanging and whatever, all of that extra noise when you're playing. It makes the environment out there so much nicer.
Yeah, listen, this space that we have here, right, is just
special.
It's the poker players. It's their own unique space, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you that before we moved up here, there was a lot of anxiety and apprehension and players telling me that this was probably a mistake, right, of moving up here, that we were making a big mistake, right? And I told him, give it a chance, right? We're putting something special up there in the palazzo on the second floor of the Grand Canal Shop. So I said, give it a chance, right? And I can't tell you the amount of negative feedback that I heard before the room opened, right? Just anticipation of the room, right? But
people do not like change.
No. And just being in a mall and off the gaming floor, right? There was just a lot of concern, right? And maybe rightfully so. But since the room is open, I can tell you that none of that negative feedback has really happened, right?
Yeah.
Everything's been wow, right? There's no smoke. There's no noise. You have your own restrooms. You have the self-service beverage station. It's so convenient for parking.
Oh, that's what I've heard so many times over and over again from locals and people who listen to the podcast or attend some of our events in other places is I know exactly where I'm going to park. I know exactly what elevator I'm going to take, and it's seamless. It is very easy to get here.
Yeah, if you park on level 2 of the Palazzo parking garage and you park near the orange casino elevators, you can literally be from your car to the poker room in 60 seconds.
Right.
And that's not an exaggeration.
Right.
So, as far as convenience, right, it's just there's second to none. Right. And then you add how clean and modern and beautiful this space is. It really is the poker player's home. Right. And it's our home. Right. And so, listen, I couldn't be more proud of the design team and the development team of what they put here. And just really humbled and honored that this is our space.
Well, we want to congratulate you for forward thinking. Other rooms, take note. You should take a visit and see how it's going. Because also something else that Joe and I'm very affected by sound. So that's one thing I noticed, but lighting as well. I have had maybe once that I've had to move my chair, but the lighting in here is fantastic as well. So I've taken note. You guys have paid very close attention to what poker players need, what affects them during their game, how to make people feel welcome. That's one thing. The staff here is just on it. Very welcoming, accommodating, and just congratulations.
Well, thank you. I mean, lighting was definitely something that I was focused on because in our old space,
I remember.
There were some challenging spots with the lighting, right? And some feedback that was, given to me about, if we had the ability to make things brighter. And so when this space was being designed and they asked me all the things that I needed or wanted or things that I could do to make a better environment, lighting was definitely something that I had brought to the attention, right? And I think they nailed it, right? It's a very clean and very bright space. And it gives players of all ages the ability to just, see and do and just a better environment for them to play.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed. Anything else you want to mention?
No, just listen, I'm very, very honored to partner with the Ante Up team for this weekend. Excited about this event. There's still an opportunity to get in. Day 1C is tomorrow at 11:10 a.m. So if you happen to be nearby and you get the message and you want to make it down, there's still an opportunity. Registration's open tomorrow till 5:55. So that's Saturday. It's open till 5:55. And if you want to win your way in, we got some opportunities still before we call it a day here. So.
Certainly, you won't be disappointed. I can tell you that's for sure. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us today.
Thanks,
It was
Tom.
really
Yeah.
great to have you.
Yeah, you guys have been great partners, and it's been great getting to know you guys over the past year, and so hopefully we can continue it down the road.
We would love that.
Absolutely.
We would love
Right.
that.
I'm so glad Tommy got to be in here with us and do the podcast.
I know, me too. And I'm still just pinching myself. And now that we're in in this beautiful's not even the word for it.
No,
It's high class, thoughtful.
that's the word right there. Thoughtful. There's so many
It's-
things that they thought about that I never would have dreamed about until you sit down here and then you're like, oh yeah,
That makes a huge difference.
yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think it's a really important moment to mention that we have been made for radio, as I
Made for
used
radio,
to say.
yeah.
And now we're kind of made for TV because we're also sharing the podcast on YouTube. So
The
if you're
editing is weird.
yeah, the editing is weird. If you're listening, it just sounds like Tommy might have just stepped out of the room. If you're watching, he's no longer here.
Right. So
because
we
he
went
has
from 3 to 2.
Yeah, we did. But he's got a room to run. So we had limited time with him and just we're so grateful that he could stop by. But we would be remiss to end the podcast there because we are in Vegas. And let me tell you the excitement that is always constantly happening here. Since we are in the Venetian, of course, the Sphere, you can get to it right through the canal walkway. And so I can't tell you how many people we've seen dressed as Wizard of Oz.
Right. And all the shops too.
Oh yeah, shopping. People are eating. People are dressed up like the Wizard of Oz. BravoCon is going on today. There's been a wedding conference. I just stood in line to eat lunch with people who are here for a blind seeing eye dog conference. Like it is, you dream it, they come here to talk about it.
Right.
So the number of people that we've just, passed by the last couple of days and seen what's going on in, not to mention all of the cleaning and housekeeping staff has had an Olympics here this week. It's a legit thing. The ISSA has put on the 35th Housekeeping Olympics.
Yeah. I don't have any idea what ISSA stands for.
Me either, but I just am so glad they do this for them.
This hilarious. If I'm going to put a link in the show description because this video of the people doing
The challenges.
these challenges,
Yeah.
like it was Monday at Mandalay Bay. They had people that were doing like precision bed making.
Very fast as
Yeah.
well. I cannot tell you how fast. Vacuuming.
Mop relays. This was the best.
It was slalom mopping. It was slalom mopping is what it was. It
Right.
was absolutely, I'm thinking, well, there's another way to twist my ankle. I don't think I'll
Right.
participate. I don't think I'll be participating in that. But
I don't know if there's any prizes.
there's
or
got to be
anything like
bragging
that,
rights.
but
There
there's
has to be bragging rights in the
definitely
industry.
bragging
or they
rights.
wouldn't do it.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, we've also heard some news this week that some special awards in the poker community are going away. And so now we've got our like creative thinking caps on going like,
Yeah.
how could
Like-
we do something like that for our poker community?
Well, like, how fun would it be to have like the Ante Up Olympics?
I think that could happen.
Like, you have chip count races where you have to sit at the table and count people's chips, like the fastest one to name off how many chips somebody has at the table wins.
Hmm.
And then,
I'm going to say table eating contest. You can only eat with chopsticks.
oh, I would definitely lose that.
What about
How many chips you can shuffle?
how quickly you can stack racks?
Yeah. Yeah. Or putting chips, like start out with a bunch of chips in front of you.
Yeah, and
you have
organize
to
them.
organize them and put them in stacks of
Just
20.
going to tell you, women would kill in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we organize stuff all the time. 100%.
But you're right. There was some news about the GPI
Yeah.
Poker Awards
I know
are
some
not going to
people-
happen in 2026.
I know we're disappointed because, of course, we have been included in their podcasting category, which was sort of a goal of ours to win that last
This
year.
was going to be our year.
I know. However, it takes a significant amount of effort for their team to put those on in many cities across the world.
It's true.
So they are still keeping the awards for players.
For like Player of the Year,
right?
And the
Hidden
Mob
Mob,
Award. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So those they're still keeping. I know some of us in media are a little disappointed, but all good. We certainly understand the constraints of the amount of time it takes to go into planning those events. And so now let's figure out how to put something in place of that.
Well, yeah, because again, if we have the Ante Up Olympics, what if we had our own Ante Up Awards as well?
Might be really fun to partner with some other tours.
Yeah.
To see what we could get out of that.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Or what could come out of that.
Yeah. And you've got to have, some fun ones in there. But I would also like if that is something that we did, I would like to celebrate like dealers and floor staff and things like that somehow in there as well.
Yeah. So if you have any ideas, Joe and I love to brainstorm with everybody. Send them in. Let us know what you think.
Drop them in the comments.
No, absolutely. Drop them in the comments below. We're still getting used to saying that. Awards, I will say, I've always been one of those people that I'm always going to just do what I do because I love doing it.
Right.
However, it is nice to get recognition for those things.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to get everybody together for an awards type show. So not just
celebrating the community.
Yeah, not just saying, oh, this person did the best or that person did the best.
Yeah.
But being able to get everybody together in one area and celebrate the game itself as well.
Well, and that's actually something that WTP just did. We actually, we've talked about World Tavern Poker, and we have a tavern locally that we host. And I think we mentioned last week that we're now looking for a new restaurant or bar to participate in. But a lot of the players from our region actually were here last week in Vegas for the championship. And I had lunch with Lupe Soto from Lips, the Ladies International Poker Series.
Yeah, we haven't even had a chance to catch up about that.
Yeah, but let me just tell you what heartwarming story came from that, where you talk about a group of people getting together once a year. But you got to think about, these are people who play poker for free in restaurants and bars across the United States, and they get together in Vegas. They're probably here on a vacation thinking, I want to get out there and play. I want to win X number of things. I want to get a seat to the World Series of Poker.
Sure.
Blah, 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 right? Bragging rights. They're probably not thinking about a charitable organization that they're going to participate with. However, Lupe here knows quite a bit of needs that need to be met. And there was a 7-year-old with cerebral palsy who had an accident with his wheelchair. Okay. And it wasn't covered for lots of different reasons to get a new wheelchair. So what WTP did is they added an extra $10 on the registration fee. They passed around a bucket. They let people know, and they raised over $7,000 to cover the cost of the wheelchair for that young man.
Awesome.
But it's beyond awesome. It's like you get cold chills, like a local family. These are people that come in from all over the U.S. and are thinking, this is how the week is going to go. And then they make a collective impact. And not only that, but Poker Gives provides over 1,000 meals to the homeless and those in need every Monday, except the first Monday of the month. And people from WTP took their vacation time to go down and serve meals.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That stuff just makes me so proud of the poker community.
Yeah.
Bet on better is what we always talk about here. And that is exactly what that is. And good job, guys. I'm beyond excited that our group, our community of poker is willing to do that. So,
well, it's just everyday people helping everyday people is the way I see it. And it's heartwarming that poker is where they learned about it. And they're going out with people that they were maybe in fierce competition with. If I sat down next to you, but then I'm also serving beside you that night. In the midst of all the things going on, that just really gave me hope today.
Yeah.
So well done, WTP. Well done to Poker Gives, just for paying attention to the actual needs of a community and responding to that. And I just love being here.
Yes. And
I really do. I mean, it's nice to be out of our routine, but it's also just been a treat
It
to
really
be in the
has.
Venetian this week.
It really has.
Cannot
And
even say enough about this room.
the poker room, if you get an opportunity to stay here, the rooms here
Oh
are
my gosh.
incredible.
Stunning.
And
Absolutely stunning.
but we do have day 1B going right now. So
Yeah, we do need to get back to the
let's
action.
get out there and see what's going on.
But as always, Joe, it's a pleasure being around a live stream table with you.
Likewise.
Now it's time for Call the Floor with Elliott Schechter.
Elliott Schechter joins us each week to say how he would rule on situations that come up in your games. And he's with us again this week. Elliott, how's it going?
Things are going pretty nicely, thanks. We're doing okay. How you been?
I'm good since the last time we spoke.
5 minutes ago. Very nice.
So we're actually recording this session, getting it in the bank, so to speak, because next week Elle and I are going to be out in Vegas for the Ante Up Poker Championship, and
Nice.
so we've got to get this recorded. So if you notice, we're wearing the same clothes. But I appreciate you spending a little extra time and recording with me here with this one, because we do have this Call the Floor from Alvin Burns. He says he's in a draw-heavy board. Lots of possibilities for straights and flushes. Under the gun, bets on the river. And Alvin says he's getting chips ready to raise and represent that he hit one of those draws. But the player to his left slams the table as if he's mad because he should have called, right? To his point, this makes the bluff look a little less convincing.
A little bit.
So he calls the floor over, explains what happened, and point out that the folded player's reaction could give information to a player still in the hand. The floor listens and issues a warning to the folded player. Alvin says, I choose not to bluff at the river, and we move on.
Probably wise move.
However, yeah, probably so. However, there are other players at the table that are upset with Alvin because he called the floor in the middle of the hand, because in their opinion, that could have been handled after, so everyone can just move on with their other hands. And Alvin says, to be fair, there was a high hand jackpot that was causing players to want to see more hands. But I still believe that it's better to make the floor aware sooner rather than later. So his question was, calling the floor in the middle of the hand the right move, or should it have just waited until after the hand was over so the table wasn't disrupted? And then as a side bonus here, also is a warning they're the only course of action for a first offense of this kind.
I see the player's point, and I see the casino's point. They want to get as many hands out as possible. Players want as many chances as possible to hit a high hand or other kind of promo. I see their point. That being said, whatever you can put off until tomorrow, you can put off forever. And if you
Yeah.
delay calling the floor, the players or dealer may find another excuse. Why are you bothering him now? We got the next hand. Don't worry about it. And then you'll never get to call the floor. Give me a break. If something egregious happens and the disclosing of the contents of your hand to active players at the table, while the hand is still in progress, is not a minor violation of etiquette. It's also an incursion into the territory of one player to a hand. Again, not
Right.
a minor thing to be discussing. And never mind the fact that he basically took your power of potential bluff away from you, which is why we strongly discourage people from folding on checks, especially in no limit hold'em, pot limit Omaha, any game on the river. But yeah, especially games where you can bet any amount of chips. Player A bets player C, or player A checks, player B now folds instead of checking. If the guy checks, now player C can bluff at the players because player A, the initial checker, doesn't know what player B is going to do, is in a spot. But now all of a sudden it's heads up.
Right.
It takes the power of the bluff away. This is essentially what happened. Again, this is not minor. You're taking a lot of
Right.
the play out of the game and you're affecting other players' ability to play the game,
Yeah.
and not in a good way. So, yeah, getting the floor called now is the right move. I appreciate the fact that the players want to play another high hand, another chance at a high hand. I appreciate the house wanting to get another rake dropped. Tough. This is not something that should be left. And again, the floor should see the situation. I mean, if it's a $20 pot and it's a $5 bet, the floor, it's not going to be treated the same way, which is how we get to the second question. The floor should see the situation firsthand. I mean, if it's a pretty nice sized pot and a third person uh, affected the play this drastically and egregiously, yeah, the floor should see it. They shouldn't just get somebody's word for it, and they shouldn't just come as an afterthought. Because number one, they should see what's happening. They should know what's happening. They should be able to respond accordingly, make the warning or penalty fit the actual crime. They shouldn't, and by they I mean the players and the dealer, be given a chance to make this disappear or become less imperative than it could have been. So yeah, I think calling the floor there is correct, and it's entirely possible I may be in the minority. It could be a vast minority. Been through that before in my life, I have to admit. But uh, yeah, uh, this is not just a minor faux pas. Uh, and again, if it was the smallest blind game in the casino or the poker room, that's one thing. But if somebody's doing this at one of the biggest games in the room with the most experienced players and the most money on the table, that's not acceptable. And this is the
Right.
kind of thing that the player, at the very least, has to have a conversation about off the table. Maintaining the integrity of the game, maintaining proper etiquette, and following the rules are what makes this game playable and work. So, yeah,
Right.
ignoring this or putting this off, yeah, I don't agree with that. Is there a warning? I mean, if it's a player who's done this in the past or should know better, and like I said, if you're playing in a decent sized game, you should know better.
Right.
So again, yeah, this is not a one size fits all punishment. I'm gonna lay the hammer down when it's necessary, and I'll be kind and gentle when that's necessary too. But putting off calling the floor until the hand is over is just another way of making sure you never get the floor to address this.
Yeah. Is there maybe a middle of the road solution here where you call the floor over and then finish the hand and be like, "Oh, well, this is a situation. Can we talk about this after we complete the hand," or something like that, where
No,
you still get to move on?
no. And here's a for instance that might be rare. What if the two players are friends? What if the guy who bet is friends with the guy who slammed the table and aw shucks? What if they're a married couple? Once again, now you're getting further down the rabbit hole of integrity and collusion, or the lack thereof. So yeah, the floor should see what's happening now. They might have more information than the dealer or the players. If they're working the board or if they saw who got on the list, these two people might know each other.
That's
Small
fair. Yeah.
possibility, but possibility nonetheless. There are things that the players at the table might not know. These two players might be friends. The floor would know that, having worked in the poker room for a while. They would know that these two guys have soft played each other or helped each other out in certain spots. There's information that the floor might have that nobody else might have.
Right.
And again, the floor should see the situation. If it's a mild transgression, if it's a $12 pot and a $4 bet, yeah, you're gonna say, "Hey, keep your reactions to yourself. Maintain your poker face. Help us out. Make it a joke." If it's a $2,000 pot in a 5 and 10 blind game, yeah, that player is gonna have to have something more serious than a "please don't do that again." So yeah, the floor should see what's happening and should know what's happening. Calling them over and then saying, "Oh, wait for us to finish," that makes no sense. Now you're wasting the floor's time. They've got other places to be too. So yeah, if you're calling there, you might as well tell them what's going on right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so all in all, Alvin, you did the right thing by getting him there when you got
Absolutely.
him there, and you definitely need to get him there for so there's it doesn't sound like their problem was with you calling the floor, but if you're going to call the floor, that was the time to call the floor. So, sounds like you did everything right. The floor, uh, we don't know the whole situation as far as what the floor knows about these players or whatever.
Right.
More than likely, a warning was probably fine.
Sure.
But yeah, I can definitely see where there would be some situations where they're going to get more than that. So,
Right. We
they
can
got
start
a
a new
warning,
column.
and if they,
Call the floor
yeah,
later.
and if he does it again, now the floor is aware of it. So
Exactly.
I used to play with this guy that it seemed like every hand he'd be like, "Oh, I shouldn't have oh." I'm like, "You couldn't have had every single hand that you folded. It's impossible." Statistical anomaly. But
At that point, wouldn't they have been trained to play every hand because they missed everything?
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
it makes no sense that they only miss the hands they fold or hit the hands they
Yeah,
fold.
exactly. But Alvin, I appreciate you sending that in. If
Yeah.
anyone has a call the floor that they would like to know how Elliott would rule, send it to podcast@anteupmagazine.com.
Keep them coming in, folks. I
Elliott,
appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you doing this again this week, and we'll see you next week.
I'll see you then. Thanks a lot.
Let's break it down with Hand of the Week.
Welcome to Hand of the Week, where Patrick, our resident fish, and I dive into listener-submitted hands. Each week, we tackle everything from questionable bluffs to hero calls and the hands that make you scratch your head. Whether you're looking for strategy tips or you just want to see if you would have played it any better, we've got you covered. Patrick, how's it going?
I'm pretty good, my friend. Yourself?
I am doing well. Technically, when everybody's listening to this, I am in Vegas.
You're going to be at a poker table in Vegas.
I will at least be watching people at a poker table in Vegas.
Fair enough.
We are recording this before we leave so that we have it in the bucket because we just never know what the schedule is going to look like when we're out there. So definitely wanted to get this done so that we can still continue because we have a streak going with the podcast. We don't want to break. So
Absolutely not. Yep. It's a good one. So let's continue it. And, that way you freeze you up in Vegas.
Yeah. So we have a hand of the week that's sent in by Ryan Howard, and in quotes, or not quote, in parentheses, it
Did
says,
you play for the Phillies?
not the baseball player.
Oh, man. Well, I like this Ryan nonetheless, but that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool. It's cool to have Ryan Howard, not the baseball player, send this in too.
Absolutely. Yep.
He says, "Hey, Joe and Patrick. Love the show. Been listening every week and really enjoy the mix of strategy and laughs. Got a hand I'd love for you guys to break down because I've been going back and forth on whether I butchered it or not." Well, we're going to try not to butcher it.
No promises.
The game is 1-2. It's no limit hold'em. It's in his local card room. I've got about 300 to start the hand and am in middle position with the ace of spades, 10 of spades. Under the gun +1 limps, and it folds to me.
It's good enough to throw some chips in for middle position, I think.
Yeah, definitely raising here.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just turned Rain Man there. Definitely raising. Definitely raising.
How many toothpicks are on the ground? All right. I mean, not know the table a little bit. You know, we're definitely, you and I are kind of in that 3 to 4 range. You know, I'm thinking probably 10.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was. We got that limper in there, so add a little bit for that. If we also limped, that would invite too many players into the hand. A min raise doesn't accomplish anything, so 10 should be enough to get out a lot of the remaining hands unless they have something. So I'm good with 10. Ryan raises to 12. I think that's fine too. You know, not
It's not
not going to
outrageous.
see a lot of junk come in here with $12 raise.
No.
Says it folds to the button, who is a solid, straightforward player who calls. The blinds fold, and the limper calls.
All right. So what, 3-handed?
Ryan says, the button has me covered, and the under the gun +1 player has about the same as me, maybe a little less.
Okay.
So there's $39 in the pot. The flop is the 10 of diamonds, 9 of clubs, 4 of hearts, and it checks to us.
I like that. It's not a bad flop.
Yeah. I mean, we made top pair,
Top kicker.
top
I'm
kicker.
definitely going to continue the action, I think.
Yeah. We can get called by worse pretty often if we bet here. It's not bad. There's also a lot of turn cards that can kill our action from worse hands, so definitely want to get some money in there now. What are you thinking? How much?
Probably 18, 20, something like that. Right at
Yeah.
half pot, a little less.
Yeah. Half pot, yeah. I was thinking 20. Brian's on our page too. He says, I bet 20. So great bet sizing.
Yep. I mean, he's spot on. Yep.
He says, I bet 20 with top pair, top kicker. The button calls, under the gun +1 folds.
Okay.
So that's going to put $79 in the pot. And the turn is the 7 of clubs. So the board is 10 of diamonds, 9 of clubs, 4 of hearts, 7 of clubs. Now we're first to act since under the gun +1 folded.
I mean, the button could be playing a lot of hands from the button. I mean, he could be holding a pretty big range here.
Yeah.
Do we make him?
Should
do we
we
make him on
continue
8?
to
Do we
pair?
make him on 8 jack?
Probably not.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, like you said, he could be playing a lot of hands. So yeah, I guess it's in the small realm of possibility. But that's not not where I'm thinking he is yet.
No. Yeah, I feel like I would. I mean, now we're heads up. I feel like I would want to continue the action and see where he stands. But at the same time, I don't know that I wouldn't mind a check and see where his bet sizing is, knowing that I'm probably going to call. So I think that's actually
Okay.
where I'm leaning.
I get what you're saying. We were the aggressor pre-flop, so that's the reason I want to continue that.
Yeah.
They didn't raise us pre-flop, right? So I feel like they could have been just making sure that the under the gun +1 stayed in the hand, maybe. But jacks make sense. Nines, pocket nines, pocket eights, maybe.
Yeah, I
10 9 maybe.
definitely pocket pairs for sure. I wouldn't necessarily go any higher than jacks. Probably feel like would catch a raise somewhere
Right.
along the line. Yeah, I don't know.
What about
like
10 9?
Yeah, it's definitely there. Jack 10's there. Any
I
overcard in
would
a
hope.
10 is definitely there.
I think if we bet here, this is where I was going with this. If we bet here, most hands that aren't two pair or sets probably fold.
Yeah.
I also think it's important to find out if they have those hands now rather than later.
That's a good call.
So I want to bet half pot again, so I'm going to go $40.
Okay. What's our friend Ryan Howard do?
Ryan says I bet $45.
Okay.
He says, still feeling good about my hand, but aware the board is getting draw heavy.
Yeah.
The button calls after a short pause.
Okay.
So I don't like getting called there, but
No.
there is $169 in the pot, and the river is the 3 of clubs. So 10 of diamonds, 9 of clubs, 4 of hearts, 7 of clubs, 3 of clubs, which means the backdoor flush got there.
Yeah, I don't love that, to be frank with you. That definitely it definitely raises the hey, what's going on?
Yeah, but do you think that they call on the flop with just one club?
Not unless it's also he's got a straight draw as well. I mean, 10-9's out there, so
Fair.
Jack Queen of clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely is there. Again, it's not going to be Jack 8 unless he slow played his straight, and then he also picked up his flush afterwards.
There's still a lot of hands that we beat, though.
A lot. Like I said, any overcard and a 10, or any overcard and a 9, Queen 9, Jack 9. I mean, those, again, if they're not clubs, we're taking it down. I don't know why the 2 pairs kind of screaming its name.
So what's your plan here?
Well, playing the hand as it is. Yeah. So what? So we went. Ryan went 45. So what's the pot right now?
169. 169.
I think you're going to find out real fast if they got the flush if you bet here.
True, but what if we went the other route and just check
And
with
check now?
the intention to call any kind of medium-sized bet? Whatever we think we would bet, if they're willing to bet that, then we can call it. If they go outrageous, we can fold. But
I kind of like that because that was the thought that I had on the turn. So I'm especially now, yeah, I'm absolutely good with that. I check, knowing we're probably going to call unless it's, I would say pot or bigger. I'm probably going to let it go, but yeah, I'm checking here and seeing where they go with it.
My fear with betting here, leading out, is that we get check raised, we have to fold. So if we just check and they bet, then we can call.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Ryan says, I decide to check, and the button slides out $80.
Pretty in line with where our bets have been as well. Yeah, I'm probably going to call, knowing there's definitely a decent amount of hands out there that can take us down, but just as many decent hands. I don't know the percentages right offhand, but I mean, we're kind of right there in that middle ground of what can take us down and what we could take down. So 80 is definitely within the realm that I'm going to go ahead and call.
Yeah, I can call that. I probably snap call because that's right, like you said, right there where we were.
Yeah.
Maybe they have 2 pair. I don't think they have the flush. I don't think that they call the flop with just one club out there unless it's, like you said, they had some kind of straight draw or something like that as well.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're beat, it's probably something like 10-9.
Yeah.
But the bet's $80 into 169, so we need just over like 30% equity for it to be profitable, right?
Right. There you go.
They could have some flushes, but probably not. They have Jack 8 sometimes, but I feel like Jack 8 may have raised us on the turn.
I think so.
So I think We beat enough hands for it to be worth it, so I call.
Yep, I do too.
Ryan says, now I'm stuck. My gut says I'm good a lot here, but that club worries me. Could be a busted straight draw turning into a bluff. Could be a slow played set. Or maybe he floated with a flush draw and that just got there. After tanking for a while, I end up folding.
Oh, man.
The button quietly drags the pot without saying a word. A couple of hands later, as he's racking up to leave, he looks over and says with a grin, hey, you probably had me beat there. I had ace jack with the ace of clubs. So yeah, looks like my top pair was actually good, but I still can't decide if the river check was smart or too cautious. What do you guys think? Should I be betting that river for thin value, or was the fold still the right play?
I think the check was the right play. I think it just needed to be a check call. I think if you're going to go
Yeah.
check there, you check call it again, unless it's like a pot size bet. He comes in with 150 or 160, then lay it down. That would be a great fold, even if he's got you beat. But it's still a good fold, not a great fold, good fold. But I think when you're checking there, if it's, 3/4 or less, pot size, I think you check call it.
Yeah.
And know that if you got beat by two pair, you got beat by the straight, that's, a smaller percentage, then you got beat.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that checking there was the right move. It was the folding part that was the bad move. And in all honesty, I think leading out there is a better move than check folding to if you lead out there and get raised, then you can fold. But yeah, I think that check calling would have been the right play, but if you're not going to do that, then just lead out and see what happens.
Here's the other take too. Question for you, Joe. So if we lead out on the turn and then again on the river, do you think ace jack folds? He's like, I've had enough of this chase and bluff.
Yes.
I think you do.
Yeah, I think we take it down. And you might even get away with betting small there. You wouldn't even have to necessarily go full or half size pot. You could probably go quarter pot and still get them to fold. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if the
my-
button's bought into to chasing it and or bluffing it, you might have to go a little bit bigger. But I mean, I feel like anything
That's
pot
fair.
size or bigger. If you go 80 plus, there, the far majority of the time that guy's folding.
Yeah, he's not putting in. If you go $80 there, he's not raising us for sure.
No, that's a great point. At that point, playing this hand, you got to find if you want to lead out and you're not going to check call, then lead out with something that's big enough where you're not going to catch a raise.
Yeah, and you're right. If I went small, like quarter size pot, then they probably can find a raise. I don't know if they would or not, but we could put ourselves in a tough spot. So probably do have
How did that
more.
taste coming out, by the way? Because I liked it. It sounded good.
Did that feel good?
Yeah, Rod, I don't think you played the hand terrible. You really didn't. I think at that point, when you're going to check it, like we said, when you're going to check the river there, do it to check call. Again, unless it's outrageous, and then
Yeah.
if you're in the camp of Joe and it's really outrageous, then you call anyways blindly. Just say, listen, you shouldn't be betting that high. You're bluffing this one. So,
Yeah.
but it was not bad, throughout. I think that's just the one thing that I would have changed there is just the check call on the river.
Yeah, I completely agree. You played it great up to that river fold. If you just put in the call there, yeah, I that's the only mistake from this one. I think, and I think that, just judging from what you were saying, in the last bit of the story there, that was the only part of this hand that you really were questioning. So the check was fine. it was the fold that hurts.
Yeah. And it wouldn't even, I mean,
Um,
don't get me wrong, none of us want to lose, but it wouldn't have hurt my feelings either. I think I would have felt better if I check call there and he turns over 10-9. You know what? Then we got beat.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it hurts, but at the same time, it feels a whole lot better than when they walk away from the table telling you, "Hey, guess what?"
you probably had me beat, and here you go.
Yeah. Ryan, that's a good one. Thanks for sending that in. If anyone has a hand of the week that they would like to know how Patrick and I would break it down, send it to podcast@anteupmagazine.com. Patrick, we'll see you when we get back.
I was going to say that when everyone's listening, I hope you're doing well in Vegas, enjoying it.
It's time for Joe's 1-Outer.
One of the most underrated challenges in poker, and something everyday players don't talk enough about, is what happens when you're trying to play your A game while you're exhausted from your travel just to get to the game. A lot of people come into Vegas, or any travel stop really, with the same plan. I'm going to put in long hours, play 3 tournaments a day, maybe squeeze in a couple cast sessions, see the sights, grab dinner, and still somehow sleep 8 hours. And of course, by day 2, their entire schedule has fallen apart. Travel just does that to people. It knocks everybody off rhythm. Your sleep schedule gets weird. You're eating whatever you can find, and suddenly you're trying to remember if you've actually had water today or if you're just running on caffeine and adrenaline. And yet, people will still sit down in a big tournament, convinced they're bringing their A game, even though their body is operating somewhere between airplane mode and factory reset. I think it's especially tough here in Vegas, too. There are no clocks. There's no day or night, really. There is no normal. You'd swear you walked into a dimension where time doesn't exist. And the only 2 food groups are gorge yourself and grab something quick before late reg closes. That's why so many players find themselves tilting faster when traveling. It's not because of the cards. It's not because of the opponents. It's the exhaustion. It's the time zone fog. It's the fact that you're playing a 6-hour session while your brain is still unpacking your luggage. And that's a lot harder than we like to admit. And tilt hits different when you're tired. Every small mistake feels huge. A tough river spot feels personal. And that little voice inside your head starts negotiating with you like, hey, want to call this river bet with second pair? What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is exactly what usually happens when second pair hero calls. You get shown the nuts and spend the rest of the day questioning all of your decisions. The important thing is, we all need to give ourselves some grace when traveling. You're not a robot. You're not a solver. You're a human being trying to enjoy the game while your internal clock is still roaming around looking for baggage claim. If you're tired, shorten your session. If you're unfocused, take a break. If you're grumpy because your last meal was an airport pretzel, do not, I repeat, do not fire that next big tournament just because the line looks short. Taking care of yourself is a real edge. A well-rested, hydrated, and fed B game can beat an exhausted, overstimulated Vegas mode C- game every single time. So when you're traveling for poker, here or anywhere, remember, your best game shows up a lot more when your brain isn't still on Eastern time trying to figure out why the sun is out at the wrong time. Play smart, rest up, and drink some actual water, not the melted ice in your latest energy drink. That's today's 1-Outer. And that's today's show. I'll see you next week, A-Team. Until then, I'll see you at the tables.
The Ante Up Podcast is a production of AnteUpMagazine.com. Contact the show at podcast@AnteUpMagazine.com or call the show at 540-339-7741. If you'd like to advertise, send an email to editor@AnteUpMagazine.com.